guys, I went to a life drawing class today and I thought I'd just do like a little vlog and share my experience with you. Like if that's anything that you would be interested in, or you just want to be nosy and find out how my experiences went. So I have only ever done life drawing once before, and it wasn't nude, it was clothed, back in college, probably about 15-20 years ago. Trying to think. Anyway, when I did it, it's irrelevant really. What I'm just trying to say is it was quite a long time ago. Now, I'm always looking at different ways that I can develop and push myself, and looking at different ways that I want my art to go, and also, so that's kind of why I was looking to do like something, and I have been looking at doing some evening classes. I found a few, so I'm sitting on my bed and I keep like whooshing off. I found a few sort of classes in my area that I think I might go to. I need to narrow it down and work out, because none of them are particularly close to me. They're all like half an hour drive, so I kind of need to narrow it down. But I'm looking to kind of do an evening class a week, as I said, because I like to kind of keep pushing myself and learn new things, and predominantly as well, I want to meet people, get out of my little bubble, because I don't have tons of in-person friends, and I can sort of be a bit of a hermit and quite shy. So I do want to get out there and meet people, make new friends and meet people and stuff. So that's why I've been looking at doing some evening classes, and sort of some art ones. I have even looked at pottery, because I used to do pottery again when I was at school. Actually, I did pottery and I really enjoyed it. And in looking at evening classes, I came across a life drawing class, which is run once a month on a Sunday, and it's not too far away from me, and it's also, the biggest thing, reasonably priced as well, which is like makes a massive difference to me. So I decided to give it a go, and I sent my email off and booked my place and all that kind of stuff. And the day rolled around and I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't nervous about going out and meeting new people or being in a new environment. I was nervous about my art and whether I could actually do it, and if my art was going to be good enough. The same kind of worries that everybody has, I guess, when, kind of like in this situation. I was just like, oh, I don't know. Can I do it? Am I good enough? La 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 la. So I got there, and I actually arrived a little bit late. I thought I was early, but it turns out that it kind of runs pretty punctual. And when I got there, everyone was already sitting around the circle, and the model was in the middle of the room, naked. And obviously, I knew I was going to a life drawing class. I knew the model would be naked, but part of me was a bit like, oh, naked. Blush, 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 blush. Yeah, I told a couple of people that I was going to do a life drawing class, and they were all a bit like snigger. And I have to say, a little part of me was a bit like, am I mature enough to do a life drawing class? I mean, I'm a married woman, I'm 37 years old. I've seen men's jiggly bits before. But I was a bit like, am I mature enough to do this? Can I do this? I did. I was, and I did do it, but I was a bit like, oh crap, I would have preferred to have been there before it started, but it kind of started like super punctual, and I guess my clock was a little bit different to their clock, so not so good for your first time. But there were loads of chicks there. There were more women than there were men there, and there was a free spot next to a lady, I don't know, my age or younger, and I was like, yes, I'll take that. But actually I was met by a chap who came to see me at the door, and he was really friendly, and I guess being met by someone really friendly really makes or breaks like the time that you have, I suppose. Super friendly. I paid my money and I grabbed, they had boards and paper and a box of like different drawing mediums, and I guess I was trying to be inconspicuous, so I just grabbed something out of the drawing box. When I sat down, it turns out it was just like a children's run-of-the-mill HB pencil, and I was a bit like, okay, that's fine. I ran with that, you know. And yeah, so there was this guy naked doing his thing, you know, and so I sat down with my board and everybody is like busy drawing away, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay, just draw something. So we started off, and I'm going to show you all my drawings in a bit. So we did a series of 2-minute poses. So they set up a timer, and every time the buzzer went off, the model had to change positions. Now he was an experienced model. He had done, you know, I got talking to him in the break as it goes, and he was an experienced model, and he's done lots of life drawing classes, so he was very good at positioning his body into poses and also holding those poses. He was really, really good at that. And he'd also bought some props with him. He bought blankets and a yoga mat and a cushion, and he'd got a ball and a rod and a bat and just different things to hold in different positions, so he could kind of like flex his muscles, I guess. And there was a light directed on him, and yeah, so my interpretation of a life drawing class is to look at shape and form and light. So in the 2-minute poses, you really don't get very long to get stuff down. So it's all about, so that was kind of all about the shape. Now, for those of you who follow my work, you will know that my work tends to deal with stuff that isn't real. Like cartoony characters, kawaii characters, animals maybe that are more anamorphic. So they either don't have a skeletal system or a muscular structure that like we would recognise per se. There's certain characteristics that we'd recognise, like my hedgehogs, you could be like, oh yeah, they're hedgehogs, or my mice, you'd be like, yeah, they're mice. But everything's make-believe, whereas with a human, I don't tend to do like realism, so that's kind of like somewhere that's like pushing me as an artist, and that's what I kind of wanted it for. I wanted to get better at drawing realistic bodies and then bringing that into my illustration work as well. So yeah, the 2-minute poses, do you know, they were quick, but I didn't find them quick. I actually, out of all the poses we did, I really enjoyed the 2-minute ones. Then we went on to 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 20 minutes. And I'll talk you through those when I show you my artwork. But yeah, generally speaking, it was a really good experience, and I really, really enjoyed it. I got speaking to the model during the break. He put a dressing gown on. He put a dressing gown on, so I didn't have to worry about like looking in his eyes, you know. Yeah, a really, really nice chap. Probably I would say in his 60s, maybe a mature guy. He had grey hair, mature guy. But yes, really nice guy, and it was just really interesting to like how they do that. How they do that. It was 2 hours long, this class, and to be naked for 2 hours with people just like staring at your body, like, you know, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, really nice guy, and I got chatting to a girl next to me, so it was a really, really nice experience, and I actually can't wait to do it again next month. So let me show you my sketches. So excuse the lighting, it is bright today, but the light's still not great. They're really, really big. We were working on newsprint paper. You can see that. It's my paper, I rolled it, but it's kind of gone a bit crappy. So where should I start? I started on this one here. As I said, I used a HB pencil, and I used it on its side, so I was sideways. Just that's like kind of the way that feels natural and how I was sort of taught when I went to college to do that. So I remember now in which order these went. So I'm trying to move them so you get the best light. So apologies, this isn't the best like quality of video, but they're just so big they just won't fit on my desk underneath my studio. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there, and I think I missed one. So yeah, it was all about just kind of trying to get proportions, trying to get stuff in relation to each other, like trying to get the anatomy all in the right place, trying to draw what you see rather than what you think there's going to be, where you think it should be. So like I don't want to run, like he was a lovely guy, and you know he had a really nice body, like for, you know, but he was he was a mature man, and so say his bottom perhaps wasn't quite as toned as maybe an 18-year-old's bum. I'm trying to like I don't want to run people's bodies down because there's nothing wrong with his body, do you know what I mean? So but it was trying to say draw what you see, or like there was a little bit of his tummy that was a little bit of I mean we all have wibbly bits and wobbly bits, don't we, fleshier bits, so it was just trying to draw what you see, so like that little wobbly bit there and that little wobbly bit there, trying to draw what you see as opposed to what you think should be there. I hope that is making sense. Those are the 2-minute sketches. Then we moved on to the 5-minute sketches. There's just 3 of those. I found the 5-minute sketches quite tricky. Maybe I should stand up. Is that better? So this one, as you can see, he sat down for. There's a standing one there, and this, he was holding a ball, but I never actually got round to doing the arm there and the hands or anything. I'm not very good at hands at the best of times. But yeah, so those were the 5-minute ones. I found the 2-minute ones really good for kind of like getting my overthinking brain to switch off and just quickly get down what I saw. When it came to the 5 and the 10-minute brains, the 10-minute ones, that's when my brain had to do a bit more thinking, and that's where I kind of, it was too much time, so it made me overthink it a bit more, but not enough time to get all the details down that I wanted to. So that's clearly where I need to spend perhaps more, push myself more. So yeah, so those are the 5-minute ones. That was another, oh, so there were 4 poses in, 3 on 1, and then this one he was holding a bat, but that didn't really, you can see I didn't really get very far with that one in 5 minutes. Moving on then to the 10-minute one. There we go, there's a 10-minute one. He was kind of stood, kind of like a little bit of a, not a fighting stance, but sort of like I don't know, a boxery kind of stance. And because I was using the HB pencil, and we were doing it in sort of like a timed thing, it wasn't so good for me in terms of being able to put like shading in or anything like that. And when we looked around at what everybody else had created, there were people who'd used charcoal pencils, someone who was using ink tense blocks by Derwent, and they had been able to get a lot more of the tones and the shading and everything in there. So yeah, me being flustered and just going with a HB pencil probably wasn't the best idea, but you know. So this was another 10-minute. The whole 2 hours absolutely flew by, guys. It just didn't feel like 2 hours at all. And this, like 10 minutes, it really didn't feel like 10 minutes. As you can see, I don't know what I've done, but I've totally blown his thigh out of proportion. Awful. Absolutely awful. But the thing is, like, everyone was really nice and everyone was at a different level and we were all just doing our own thing, which was really, really nice. So this was, we did 2 20-minute poses. So yeah, there was this one, he was sat down for these. I think it's probably a bit more comfortable for the model to sit down. So you can just see how big the paper is we're working on. Huge. Yeah, didn't even tackle his feet. They're just things that are just like hanging off. So yeah, I started to really get into the 20-minute one. If we'd have had a bit more time, I probably would have rubbed some stuff out and kind of kept working on it. And then the last one, I felt like I was really getting into my stride a bit more. So yeah, this is the very last pose we did, and also a 20-minute one. And yeah, I felt like I was really kind of getting the hang of it, getting the hang of what I was supposed to be doing and what I wanted to do and all of that. So yeah, I'm quite happy, quite happy with my attempts. Considering this is the first time I've done this in a very long time and I only did it once, I'm actually I'm actually fairly impressed. Yeah, I am just really impressed. I'm quite proud of myself actually for plucking up the courage to get out of my comfort zone and going and trying something new. So just going out there and meeting new people, trying something new, pushing outside of my comfort zone, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really quite impressed with myself. I realise that I've still got a long way to go. This is art that I'm not used to doing. And the only way to get good at something is to keep practicing. I know that. I have been making art since I was a child. I've been making art for like 34, 35 years, you know. So I understand that it's all a practice thing. And yeah, but the best thing about it is I think I'm quite like pumped and psyched for going to another life drawing class, because like the next one next month, I wish it was kind of weekly. I don't know, maybe after a while weekly would be too much overkill, but I'm kind of like, oh god, I've got to wait a whole month to do another one. So yeah, the next one it'll be a different model. It might be a woman, it might be another man, but I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I feel like I've pushed myself, as I say, as an artist, and got a long way to go. And next time I'll be there early. I will be less flustered when I go in, and I will probably think more about. I'd never done it before. I didn't know what materials to take with me, you know. I didn't know. I did take some pencils with, like pencils, but they were just HB pencils. So maybe next time I might try using a charcoal pencil. It's been a long time since I've used charcoal, but and even then it was the charcoal sticks and not the charcoal pencil. So I might go online and treat myself to a charcoal pencil and experiment a bit before next month. But yeah, super excited, guys. I hope that's been of interest to you and might encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and try something different. Happy arting!